Welcome viewers to Aramsai's Lead Kindly webinar. Our distinguished guest today is Rajiv Tarani. Rajiv is a principal at KPMG Global Mobility Services. He's been involved with several organizations like Ascend, for their community efforts and are supporting their, fundraising efforts personally and through KPMG. Welcome, Rajiv.
Thank you and good morning, everyone. It's good to have the sunshine back in California, I guess, after a few weeks of cloudy and rainy weather.
Yeah, it's a great weekend actually. I myself wishing I could go outside and have some outside time. So Rajiv, let me start with can you describe your sort of community engagement journey through the years?
Yeah, no, happy to, and I'm the first one to admit that I was not very, and maybe a little bit of background first. So I grew up in India, have been living in the Bay Area now for almost 20 years. In fact, it'll be 20 years in about a month. And I have to admit that in the early part of my life, I really wasn't involved a whole lot in community efforts. I mean, there were things we did as a family, but I wouldn't consider that as wide-scale community involvement. I think the journey really started at KPMG about 15 years ago, and I think there's a host of organizations that I either partner with, volunteer my time with, etc. And I think the first trigger was the organization you mentioned, which was Ascend, which is an organization really focused on, at the time, it was focused on helping Asian Americans in the accounting world, right? So in the big four firms, in any accounting firms. That organization has since evolved into helping Asian Americans in the workforce period, right? It doesn't matter whether you're in an accounting firm, law firm, tech industry, whatever. And they've done some exceptional work over the years in terms of studies that they have published on kind of what the issues are. They've created the mentoring circles, really getting some very, very senior people in senior leadership across corporate America to mentor, people like me who were relatively young in their career. But for me, really, the trigger was, I was tapped on my shoulder to go and attend a conference in New York, an Ascend conference in New York. I remember it was 2007. And when I first looked at it, I said, it's over the weekend, it's in New York. I mean, it sounds like a fun trip, right? Like you're not thinking of being involved in the community. And I remember going there and getting so energized with all that I was hearing about, the challenges that the Asian American faces in the workforce, as well as, what we as firms need to be doing. And, there's obviously a lot going on today, right? As we hear about the Asian hate crimes, etc. But, think about this 14 years ago. But really the trigger for me was, and even then I wasn't convinced. I was in New York having a good time, staying in Manhattan, right? I saw some friends outside of the conference. I made some friends at the conference. There was about 800 people. But to me, the trigger was on the last night, which was Sunday night. They had a big gala. And at the gala, they had about 4 or 5 very senior Asian American leaders on stage, having a discussion, and they opened it up for questions. And as they opened it up for questions, there was an individual that went up to the mic. And as he was walking to the mic, the light was shining on him, and he didn't look Asian. He was he was a white Caucasian individual. And obviously, the question I had in my mind, which I'm sure the other 799 people had in their mind, was, what is he doing in our secret society, right? So anyway, he gets up to the mic and he says, I lead a team of 20 people, 19 of them are Asians. I'm here to figure out how I can help them be successful, because if I can help them be successful, I'm going to be successful. I can't be successful without them. And even before anyone on the panel could respond, he got a standing ovation from the group. And one of the panelists on stage said, "Look, the fact that you're here and the fact that you're if you have the courage to come up in a room full of Asians to ask that question, clearly indicates that you really, really want your team to be successful." And I did a little bit of inner reflection then. I said, what am I doing? Right? I'm a senior manager at KPMG. Up until now, I wasn't even believing in what Ascend did. And to me, that became sort of the start of my journey in kind of being sort of I would say a little bit cynical about these things to becoming a true believer. So I remember on the flight back, I had these mixed emotions on, what am I doing? Like, why can't I have a bigger impact in the community, and why can't I have a bigger impact in KPMG? And so I really went back, and at the time, I think Wi-Fi had just come up on airplanes, and I was shooting emails to all sorts of leaders in the firm saying, "This is what we should, this is
We should.
what we should
Okay.
do." And by the time I landed back in San Francisco, I had already created the Silicon Valley chapter for our Asian
Mm,
Pacific Islander network, and that really became the start of my journey into the impact you can have in the community, whether it's within a KPMG community or the broader community, can be so huge.
correct.
That then led to me getting on the board of Ascend's Northern California chapter. I was there in that for a few roles. I've done quite a bit of work for them. I'm still involved in KPMG's internal Asian Pacific Islander BRG, and I think it's becoming relevant today, right? As we
Yeah. Yeah.
hear the news and we see
Correct.
everything that's happening,
Right.
it brings to light how important some of these organizations and foundations can be
Right. Right.
in just providing people an avenue to raise some of the concerns they have.
Right.
To me, the big learning in that journey was also, it's, going back to that brave individual who went up to the mic. We need so many more of those people at the table, right? We need those allies to be at the
Right.
table, because that's who is going
Right.
to help us
Right.
move the needle,
Right.
change the narrative, and at least bring in the open what some of those concerns may be.
Yeah. No, I mean, hearing all these news, and I feel like, look, you started 15 years ago. What, if we start now, it's going to be even more difficult. So I'm
Yeah,
glad, I'm glad, folks like you started many years ago, because all that building blocks that you've put in is definitely, going to
yeah,
only make things better, right? So
yeah.
you work with several organizations. I see that you work with South Indian Heart Center, Ascend, American India Foundation. Can you give us sort of an overview of these different organizations, what they do, and how what your involvement was with these
Sure,
folks?
sure. So, and again, pretty much each of them have their own story, and the story
Hmm.
was somebody tapped me on my shoulder. I was fortunate enough to have those people looking
Right.
out for me, tap me on my shoulder and said, "Rajiv, we should get involved here." So, the South Asian Heart Center is again a great story. It's an organization that's been set up in partnership with El Camino Hospital in Mountain View. It's a nonprofit organization that really does a lot of research on the incidence of heart diseases in South Asian specifically,
Right.
right? There's a lot of studies done. And look, I think there's heart disease is a big issue. I know I've been impacted by it. I lost my father to heart complications. And so it was very near and dear to me when I was asked to attend their first fundraiser. And going in, I expected it to be a fun evening. Right? It's a gala, right? A fun evening, a
Right.
dressing up, and there's a nice speaker. But as I left that evening, driving home with my wife, I said, I want to get more involved in this organization. This has touched a chord with me. It's near and dear to me. Obviously KPMG was already supporting them, but then I put in my own personal support. I got on their advisory council. Again, it's a phenomenal organization that truly helps people in addressing their own heart issues. And again, look, I'm a guy in my late 40s. I've got genetic issues with diabetes and history of heart disease. So I know I'm at high risk, right? So what they do is really help people get into this cadence of having
Mm.
how good heart behavior, right? That helps
Right.
your have a longer life. It's again, I lost my father at 62, which I think in is a very young age
It is. It is. I mean, it is striking a chord with me. I'll
yeah,
tell you. I just was in India 3 weeks ago because my father had heart attack. So I
yeah,
just came back. So
yeah,
it's sort of yeah. It
yeah,
is. It is. It is actually near and dear to me as
yeah.
well. Yeah.
So that's how I got involved in it, and I've been a big proponent. I've
Mhm.
got the heart center to come and make a presentation at KPMG, right? So I'm like, it shouldn't be limited to a few people. And look,
Correct.
when we had the event at KPMG, we invited everyone, right?
Mm.
And there were quite a few people that came that said, "This is fantastic that you're doing this, specific research for South Asians in terms of because again, we're genetically wired differently.
Right.
Our food habits are different. A lot of our habits are different, right? So you have to get down to that narrow level of focus, right? Uh, and so I think that kind of helps create that awareness. and I saw, so to me that became, something that I was very, very passionate about. I've been involved with them for many, many years. My wife also, after the first year, got involved as an official member of their fundraiser group. And again, I think she has, again, has had her own family history. And so it's something very near and dear to us. And we continue to support. Not only do we support them, but we're also members of the center,
Members.
where they, we are on their roster of people that they help her, right? So there's a
So,
little bit of a selfish motive here as well.
uh,
The other one, American India Foundation, is another one that has been an organization that KPMG supports. And it's a phenomenal story of two very, very successful entrepreneurs in the Bay Area, Lata Krishnan and Ajay Shah. And it was really started on the heels of the earthquake that happened in India many, many years ago. It has since transformed into some incredible things that they do. One of the unique things about them is that they don't all the expenses related to the management, whether it's the people that run the organization, that's not that doesn't go from the fundraising. It goes directly.
wow.
The board funds that directly. So there's a clear, typically in any of these foundations or in any of these charities, 2 to 4% of their expenses relate to the management expenses, right? And in the case of AIF, they don't. It's completely goes towards the program. And again, I think they've done some incredible things. They have chapters all across the U.S. I remember the first time I attended. Again, it was one of those, senior leaders tapping on my shoulder and saying, "Rajiv, we should consider attending and consider getting involved." And I remember there was this young lady from India who had come for the fundraiser. She was from, some small village, if I remember correctly, in Gujarat, and used to work in the salt mines, right? And has to walk barefoot X number of miles every day. And so I think what AIF did was they created a girls' school with a hostel where the girls would go and stay and and live in. And and it just, like, she relayed her whole story, and there was not a single dry eye in the audience, right? Pretty much everyone was moist eyed. And then one of the this is one of those things that kind of makes you understand the impact that we have, right, with the
Yeah.
small things we can do. The MC on the stage asked her what she wanted to do once she's done with school and goes to college, and she says, "Oh, I want to be an accountant." And my senior partner, who incidentally right now is the CEO of KPMG in India, Arun Kumar, immediately went to the AIF leadership and said, "I'm guaranteeing her a job with KPMG.
Oh,
Like, I will make it happen." And I was just blown away, right?
man.
That's the impact we can have with someone who has probably had to deal with so many struggles, right? There's the whole gender issue, and then
Right.
there is the whole, in India, the disparity, the income disparity. Just by creating that impact can have such a huge say. And that radiated in that audience of 500-600 people who said, "Hey, we got to do our own thing, right? let's
Right.
let's
Right.
start let's start creating opportunities for these people."
Right.
I will tell you, I've used that in my playbook a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
We and it's not listed in one of the organizations I support, but many years ago I was the for our Silicon Valley office, I was the partner champion for our corporate social responsibility efforts. And
Okay.
one of the things we did was we partnered with an organization called NFTE, I think, a National Foundation for Teaching. I forget what the acronym stands for. But
NFTE.
that group
Okay.
reached out to us. That group reached out to us and said, "Hey, we deal with a lot of, and this is in the Bay Area, right? So if you
Right.
think
Right.
about the Bay Area and you think, if you have an outside in view, you think it's a very affluent community,
Right.
etc. But really, there's
Right.
disparities here as well, right? That we need to address."
Yeah.
So they reached out and said, "Hey, we've got schools we work with in low-income neighborhoods, and could KPMG do something?" And so we were brainstorming with them, and they said, "Look, for these people, if they get to spend even 2 hours in your corporate environment, that may be incentive enough for them to be to
Right.
continue not dropping out of high school, because the high school dropout rates are so high."
Right. Right.
So we said, "Okay, you know what, we'll host them, right?" And so we
Right.
created the almost like a 6-hour program. We got them in, we gave them a tour of the office, we put them in our conference room, we had presentations with different people, and they had worked on there was like a business project that they had worked on. So they had shortlisted about 10 people that had come up with business ideas, and then we had to rate it at the end.
Mm.
And some of the ideas they had come up with were nothing short of brilliant, right? I mean, I
Right.
still remember some of, one of the ideas was, this is back a few years ago, but one of the ideas was rent your driveway, right? If
Mm.
you're up in the city and you can't find parking,
Right.
what if you want to rent your driveway for, X, I don't know, $10 an hour, park in my
Right.
driveway, right? Create a Airbnb type kind of a
Oh,
platform.
that's so ahead of its time, actually.
Yeah. I mean, this is was created 3, 4 years ago by this
Yeah.
one lady. Now I was so blown away, right? Okay, so
Right.
here's someone again who probably doesn't have all the means, probably doesn't have access to all the things that people ordinarily do, yet they are thinking so proudly. But to me, the defining moment of that was, they came in at 9 o'clock. We did the whole thing. We served them lunch. We had sandwiches for them. And then, as it turned out, there were going to be, I think, 3 or 4 schools, and one school unfortunately dropped out at the last minute. But we didn't know that, so we had ordered lunch for X number of kids, but only 75% of them showed up.
Sure. Mm.
So those the sandwiches, ordinary sandwiches that we had ordered were left over, and you know as we were finishing up the afternoon, the main in charge, Alfredo, I still remember him, came over and said, Rajiv, what are you going to do with the sandwiches? I said, look, the kids are welcome to take them. He says, that a lot of these kids live on food stamps, right? I mean, for them, sometimes getting 2 meals in a day or 3 meals in a day is a luxury, right?
Right.
So he
Wow.
says, if you can cut those sandwiches up, right, and each of them gets to take half, it'll be a huge deal. And again, we have meetings all the time at KPMG. We have food sometimes that runs over, and sometimes where we don't have enough food. But to me, it just made me pause and reflect a little bit on, not only did we create this impact on these people, where we brought them into a corporate environment to help them, but then we also gave them, food ordinarily that would have been thrown away,
Thrown
or
away.
I don't
Yeah.
know what
Yeah.
would have happened. And Alfredo then called me that evening and he said, Rajiv, you should have seen the energy in the school bus. Like, people were just on a different kind of a high, right? They were excited about it, but the energy that was created, and I told Alfredo, and unfortunately he's moved on to a different role, but I told him that in a few years I'd love to know the statistics of the impact we created,
Yeah.
right? If
Yeah.
that helped reduce the dropout rate by X%, that will be something that but I'll tell you, as I walked back to my office after that session, I had tears in my eyes
Right.
because of the impact. Not me, but as a firm, KPMG was able to create, and what we have been able to pull off. And there were a lot of people involved in doing that with us. So I think that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
It's the rush you get in having
Correct.
impacted the community in so many different ways.
And you actually feel the effect. I mean, it's
Yeah,
almost like you've done a selfless act,
yeah,
and you can clearly see
yeah,
the happiness in the folks, and the
yes,
impact it's going to have. Right. That's amazing. That's amazing.
yeah.
So I'm starting my community engagement journey, and so are a lot of viewers, I'm sure. Do you have any like advice for us? What should we look for? What do we do?
Yeah, so as hopefully you've felt in the stories I've shared with you, right? All the organizations I got involved with were things that I was very, very passionate about. They struck a chord with me, right?
Hmm.
So I recommend that to people. Look, the Heart Center may be something that's good for you and me, but may not be
Right.
relevant for
Right.
someone else, right? So you have to do it, you have to do it for a cause that really resonates with you, right? And I know there's so many different causes, right? Education, uh, you know 3 meals a day for kids,
Right.
and there's a host of organizations in the US. So, some that have a whole US India connect to it. Akshay Patra is another one that I know. I've attended some of their events, and some of the things they do is incredible. But so I think you have to pick and choose, right? And
Right.
I remember one of my senior leaders giving me the story once. He said, Rajiv, if you have $100, right, how would you want to spend it? Do you want to give $100 to that one organization because you know that $100 will have a huge impact, or do you want to give $5 to 20 organizations that will have a minimal impact? He says both of them are good, right? I'm not saying one is better than the other, but you have to choose, right?
Right.
Would you rather spend all of your time with 2 or 3 organizations and have a higher impact, or spend a little bit of time with every organization and have a minimal impact? And look, some people can do it. They can
Right.
serve 20 organizations and have a huge impact. Some, like me, I know I can't extend myself too much, because then I know I won't be impactful. I know I will not be committed. I know I will not have the impact that I hope to have. And I personally won't learn. Look,
Right.
all of these organizations have probably given me more than I've been able to give them in terms of
Right.
what I learned and the relationships I was able to create, as well as some of the impact it had to me in building me as a professional and as an individual. So
Yeah, that's good advice
something
actually.
I'm really proud of. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Rajiv. It was a great interview. Great talking to you. You had a lot of good stories. Maybe we should do a round two with more stories. Is there any other Is there any other fundraising or anything that you were specifically sort of very proud of, close to your heart? One more story.
But so I will tell you, and this may make people a little uncomfortable. Um, but I was also involved because I have a very close friend that was involved in this organization called Narika.
Hmm.
And when my friend Anita first came to me and told me about Narika, Narika is an organization that helps victims of domestic abuse, specifically in the South Asian community, in the Indian community. And when she first told me, I said, I like it's hard for me to digest that this happens in the Bay Area, right? I mean,
Right.
it happens, right? Domestic abuse is a big issue across the world. It happens, but I just like it took me a while to digest the fact that something like this happened in the Bay Area, right? Because my general belief was, if you are well educated and you have, a certain environment that you have grown up with, that's not something that I grew up in an environment. My father was a businessman. My mother was worked pretty much her entire career, and she retired when I got married. And so I grew up in an environment where I was not open to. I had not seen any of that, and I had
Right.
seen a very loving relationship. But I also knew that that existed, right?
Right.
Even though I grew up in Bombay, which is, again, a very progressive environment, but I knew it existed in some company that we kept in. But when I came here, I just couldn't digest the fact that something like that existed. So when she told me about it, I'm I don't buy it.
Right.
So when I went to that first gala again, she invited us as a guest, and I went there, and I felt, man, it's a big issue in the Bay Area, and some of the stories that these victims tell you it's pretty scary.
Right.
I mean,
Wow.
the and so that's what I'm saying. It makes people a little uncomfortable, but those are the sort of things that we should also be involved in. And so,
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
KPMG is now a supporter of Narika, and obviously we do our own in helping Narika. But I think those are the sort of things that we need to do. I think the health issues, the education issues, the income disparity issues, those are
Right.
all good. But this could also be something, and I know there's a couple of other organizations like Maitri is something similar
Right.
that they do the same, and that also is something
Yeah, these are
that
sort of
we have to keep a
fundamental things that you expect to have
yeah
in a family and whatnot, right? And these actually
yeah
disturb you much more, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And look, I think if you were to Google it, there's
Right.
plenty of stories in the Bay Area about, and there are some. I remember reading a story where there's a guy who was a CEO of a startup, and I'm like, how can you be an effective leader when
Then yeah.
you're being accused of domestic abuse, right? I mean, just
Yeah.
to me, I just couldn't connect the dots there. But I'm glad I went to that gala, and it gave me a perspective on, again, another issue for us to be
Right.
aware of, that
Right. Right.
it exists in our society, and we need to be open about it and try and address it, right? I think that's the one thing we've learned, right? If I go back to to the Ascend piece that I spoke about, and how there's so many crimes happening and stop the Asian hate, etc. The big piece that has come out of it is, very often, and I'm sure it's happened with you as well, Balaji, where you're in a meeting or you're with some people that you respect, and these are friends, these are colleagues, these are seniors in your organization, and they say something, right? And it's not necessarily very harmful, but it
Right.
has a tinge of something that could be offensive. And sometimes what we do is we ignore it. We're like, well, I don't think he meant it. He's a really nice guy. I don't think he meant it. Or maybe he doesn't understand it. we try to justify it, right?
Right.
Instead of calling it out, saying, hey, you know what? I'm not going to embarrass you in front of a group of people, but maybe I'll take you aside and say, I don't think that was appropriate for you to say. You may have offended some people in the room, right? So, and not to, not to embarrass them, but just to,
Correct. Correct.
make them realize. I know that I haven't done that. I have let some of those pass, and I'm guilty of that. Yeah, and when I speak to my colleagues, we're all guilty of that. Right? We don't call those things out, right? And sometimes that doesn't help us, right? When we are not standing up and saying, hey, you know what, this is not something that should be said. It's the same thing with the domestic abuse, right? Sometimes you sense it, you feel it, you're like, you know what, we should say something, right? Even at the risk of losing a friendship or losing whatever it is, in your heart, you know that you're doing the right thing. So
When you
I
see
think
something,
that's the
say
key.
something.
That's the key, right?
Right.
Is
Yeah.
and again, it's what as I tell people with all the unrest that happened last year with the George Floyd murder and what's happening right now is I had a lot of hope with our generation that our generation will be colorblind, that we would see people for who they are and not the background they came from. I'm not so sure anymore. I'm still optimist, but I'm not so
Right.
sure. But I want our kids' generation to have the belief that, and I think sometimes when I talk to my kids about race issues, I see that they don't make a distinction what part of
Right.
what strata of society you come from or what the color of your skin is. It is who they are, right?
Yeah.
And so that's so refreshing to hear when in our corporate environment, sometimes we feel that there's a little bit of that tension. So I'm hopeful for that generation, but I was hopeful for our generation that we would be a little colorblind, but I do think we have some ways to go.
Yeah, and I'm also very hopeful about the next generation. I think I see my kids and I can see that, this generation will be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks, Rajiv. Thanks for your time. It's been a
Thank
pleasure
you.
talking to you. A lot of good stories.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. And thanks to you and Sangeeta for setting this up. And I appreciate everything that Amse is doing.
Thank you.